What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a live show we've done last summer in January, especially in January. We've done this live show. I think it was 2 seasons ago, right? It wasn't with Mota, or was it with Mota? I'm actually all over the place, but no, it was 2 seasons ago. We've done it, and we are back again with Jadon Sancho. Before we get into it, smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Quick scan through the chat. I can see that everybody is extremely excited about the news, which is good, I guess, because it just adds to the fantastic news we are hearing lately surrounding the club when it comes to transfer links, renewing contracts, and other stuff, basically. Before we get into the Jadon Sancho news, let's go into the Jadon Sancho news. Let's start with that. Otherwise, it will get confusing. So Jadon Sancho has been linked to us first by Di Marzio, saying that we made contact basically with Man United, and that was kind of it. He also said that Napoli have been in contact with his agent, with the player directly, and they haven't spoken to Manu. They just spoke to his agent, which is kind of interesting that we went directly towards Manu instead of first agreeing with um, with the agent. But I have a theory on that. Even though usually in today's football, even though it's not really, I don't say it's legal, but everybody does it. You first find an agreement with the player and then you move to the club. But we are going the other way around, which is interesting. And then Marco Giordano, who quickly is not a Juve insider. Actually, he reports on regular news as well, not football news, but he knows. He's kind of in the know. Like, he has Napoli news, and you might say, "Well, that makes no sense." Well, in this case, it potentially could make sense because Napoli are in for Sancho. So if he has news on Sancho and Napoli, then he probably heard something about Juve and Sancho as well. And he went a step further than Di Marzio, and basically said that Comoli spoke with Wilcox. I think that's Manu sporting director, I'm assuming. Uh, and he offered 25 million euros. And according to the same, what the hell is that fly? Damn it. According to the same Giordano, he said that Manu were, how do we need to put it? They were positive about that offer. They were, not shocked, but they were not to say inclined to accept, but they were presently surprised that it's 25 million euros, and that's kind of in the ballpark what they. Well, how was that flight? Got in. That was actually pissing me off. They were happy with the offer. Basically, that's what the news report is saying, and the issue is they haven't spoke. Give me one sec, people. Here we go. That fly is gone. But basically, they haven't spoken with Jadon Sancho, and Napoli have. And Sancho also reported to by Di Marzio, I think yesterday evening, saying that he's very open to join Napoli as well. Other reports have come out in the meantime, saying that he is willing, the player, because if I'm not mistaken, he's around 10 million euros net this season, something like that. He's willing to drastically drop those demands because he just wants to play. I know he had offers from the Saudi league. He doesn't want to go to the Saudi league, and he realized, and unlike Vlahovic, he knows that if he wants to play football again at a high level on a regular basis at a top club or a good club, that competes for stuff or should be competing for stuff and wins games, etc., he's gonna need to drop his demands. He knows that, and apparently he's willing to accept. I don't know what that means. Is that going from 10? Somebody said he's on 12, but is that 6, 7, 8 is at 5. I don't know what realistic is for Sancho, or what he thinks is realistic to drop, his wages to. But that's kind of the story. So it's not a done deal. It's not anything of that really. It's just that we presented an offer. Let me get into the comments really quickly before I get into my theory, because there were some. Nobody's really happy. Julian saying the smokescreen for Porto. I doubt it will work. It might be a smoke screen, excuse me, but Conceição has multiple offers from the Premier League, from the Saudi League. Porto couldn't care less. If if we say, hey, if you don't drop your demands for Conceição, we're gonna buy Jadon Sancho. Porto will probably say, you do you, I guess. You do yourself. Whatever. Do whatever you want. We will sell Conceição somewhere else. Somebody who's gonna offer that amount. On Conceição, really quickly, I've seen the report from Record saying that confirm, we're activating the clause 30 million euros, and everybody was going wild, and everybody forgot the last part of the article where it said we're going to pay Conceição 6 million euros net a season. That was the entire article. That part was left off. Because I saw the tweet, so I looked up the report, and that was the end of the report, basically saying that we are gonna pay him 6 million a season, meaning you can throw that entire article away. We're not paying Conceição 6 million a season, knowing what others are on as well, knowing that we're haggling on the price. When I read that, I was like, that's a fake report, or somebody jumped the gun. We might, sign Conceição. Probably will end up signing Conceição, I think, but we're not paying 6 million. So the report I saw from Record, I think it was, yeah, you can throw away, because that's just some, they jumped the gun way too soon. I don't buy into the Sancho rumors. Fabrizio says we're trying to extend Chico. Yeah, we're trying, but to lower his demands. That's kind of the issue. And people keep smashing the like button. Berardi incoming confirmed. Well, it's not, it's not that far off. The fly is that he's gone. 20 million for an overrated, what? Actually 25 is not a lot of money, in general in today's football. Like that's actually the basis of any deal at this moment in time. 25. I've seen Belgian teams almost pay 25 for a player. So I mean, that's just the basis. Sancho would either be really good or unbelievably shit, no in between. Yeah. Sancho is like, oh yeah. Perfect for Serie A. We need a direct player, but why do we need Sancho when we have Colomani, Conceição, and also need a new striker to buy? Okay, now we go into why are we actually targeting Jadon Sancho, because I agree that, and I like Jadon Sancho, by the way, as a player, but the drop off and the issues he's had with growing and just being what he was supposed to be are extremely worrying. They are, and he went on loan to Chelsea. I think he had double-digit GA. I think, but that means nothing if you watch a couple of games of Jadon Sancho as well. It's not the same Jadon Sancho he was against at Dortmund. It's not even close, to be honest. Actually, it's not even the same Sancho when he went back on loan for 6 months. I thought he was better, even though he didn't have the GA. I thought he was just better when he went back. Was it for a 6 month loan deal or something like that? That being said, when the talk is, oh, but that means we're not going to get Conceição, that could be true, just purely because of the transfer fee, not because of the positions. Because Jadon Sancho, he's better on the left. Yeah, he can play on the right, I guess, but like he's better on the left, in my opinion. That's one aspect as well. I don't think you're gonna buy Jadon Sancho and Conceição. Is he maybe? Are we maybe trying to move on Nico Gonzalez? Is that probably maybe the case? But then again, we paid 37 million for Nico Gonzalez. What is his book value? Anyone in the chat knows? It's still ridiculous high really. I saw Mirko Di Natale speak on Nico Gonzalez, or actually somebody asked him, and he replied saying that right now there's no real talk about Nico Gonzalez leaving, but if an offer comes in for any player, he said the standard, reply, then the club will look into it. So I don't know who's going to offer us anything close um, to what we have paid, to what we pay for Nico Gonzalez. So that's something that's extremely difficult for me to see happening. Moving on Nico Gonzalez, I just don't know even where to begin. Which team, what transfer fee, the wages on. I mean, that sounds crazy, but that will make more sense. You move on Nico Gonzalez, you bring in Jadon Sancho. I'm talking about positions and where Nico played last season, not maybe so about characteristics as well, because they're two different players. But do we need to target Jadon Sancho? That's a big question, because somebody early on in the chat said shouldn't be the focus a striker. That's why I did my daily today, because there were reports out there from Sky Italia, and I'm not saying they were true. People in the comments saying that you make videos for views. Yeah, I mean, if nobody watches, I'm not going to make any videos anymore. I just posed the question because a report was out there. It's Colomani or it's Conceição. In the entire video, actually, I started the video saying, let me immediately know if it was real and you needed to pick one of the two, who would it be? That was the point of that video, not saying it's actually the case, but I was like, put yourself into those shoes. If you need to pick one, if the board, if Komoli comes to you and he says, we can only buy Colomani or Conceição, not both. So pick one. Who will you pick? This comes into play as well, because a lot of people say keep Conceição over Colomani because of the age, the transfer fee. And actually, the transfer fee is not that far behind. People keep saying it's only 30 million for Conceição. That's not true. It's 40. We already paid 10 million euros in total. You're paying 40 for Conceição, and I think in total you will pay around 55 for Colomani. Something like that, with the loan fee. Maybe another loan fee and the obligation to buy, or the option to buy, whatever. So let's say 50 million difference between the two players. I don't think that's kind of the issue. The issue is, if you move on Colomani, you do not have a striker. You don't have a striker. You have Vlahovic, who's broken down, who shouldn't be at the club. You have Milik, still by name at the club, and I cannot believe he went on the trip. He's injured. I cannot believe that contract has not been torn apart, because I don't know who's going to buy him. But that's kind of the question. Are you going to invest on Colomani, or are you going to invest on Conceição? That was the question. So if tomorrow the news comes out, we're buying Osimhen, and the club is like, well, if we need to pick one of Conceição and Colomani, it's going to be Conceição. It makes more sense. But right now, Gyökeres is not joining. We're not in for Sesko. I hope the club is not paying close to 50 million for Retegui. And the Osimhen thing could be on again for the Saudi League. So that leaves you with no strikers. Do you want to just renew Vlahovic? Or are you going to keep Colomani? And the club is like, you know what? We need to let go of Sancho, of Conceição, because we need a striker, and we have one right now, or have on loan. That was the question, and it's not an easy situation for the club. If you had unlimited funds, then yeah, it would be easy. You keep them all, or you just improve on them all. You just fill in those positions. Excuse me, but that's not the case. That's not the scenario, and that leaves us in a very difficult position. In my opinion. Sorry. Let me go back to the chats. Peter is saying, and thanks for a super chat. Appreciate it. I read out all the chats, but I know I miss quite a lot of them. But otherwise, the conversation is not going. So I remember following the whole Sancho saga with the United stand. It took 2 years to get him, only to have them disrespect him. He's actually good. I think the issue back then, and I like, it took a while before they signed Sancho and Manu. The issue is, he came in, and I don't like that, to be honest. He came in with that big target on his head, was like, he's the guy, and they put him on a ridiculous amount of money, when they were the only ones actually bidding for him. That's the crazy part. Like there were rumors about Real Madrid, but they never really were in for him. It was just Man U. They were bidding against themselves, and it flopped. Now, to his defense, who the hell succeed at Man U? Who is doing well at Man U for multiple seasons? It's very rare. I like Sancho. I still like Sancho, but I don't think you bring him in, he's going to be the difference for us going from top 4 in the final match day to competing for the Scudetto. And obviously, it's not fair to put that on one player. Even if we sign Osimhen, I still don't think it's enough to put us from top 4 battle to Scudetto race. It puts us closer, but you need still more. You need different things as well. You need defenders, period. And we will talk about defenders in a second. So I don't think that's obviously the case. But even if you get Osimhen and you get a defender and you add Sancho, he's still last on the list to say, for me to say, actually, he's going to make a difference. He's going to make the difference in a couple of key games that's going to, drag us to a title race, whatever, through a title race, But I do like him. The issue is, I mean, his journey is a problem. Like his journey is all over the place. Man U, loan Dortmund, Chelsea are not buying. Actually, Chelsea pay a 5 million euro penalty to send him back to Man U as well. That doesn't sound all rosy, even though that's not really his fault. That's just Chelsea. They spent 1 billion and they got absolutely outplayed by Fluminense. That's more a Chelsea issue, I think. But yeah, the Jadon Sancho one is I mean, his talent is his talent. But yeah, no, I'm not it. Wait, let me scroll back really completely. I cannot really follow. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Justin Julian talking about kids. I cannot follow. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. Any update on Zaniolo? He's still awful, and he's actually fighting. He's fighting. What was he fighting? He was fighting Roma U players. So that's that's that. It got worse, and I never thought it was possible. Bruno Fernandes is the only one. Yeah, his stats look good, but I mean, watching Bruno Fernandes play is also not joyful, but his stats look good. So I would agree. He kind of succeed, obviously, because his output, in goal contributions is actually insane for a player who plays chaotic football. So I'll need to give him credit for sure. But in general, it's joining Man U is just it's actually that wish. I'm not gonna lie. I don't get it. I don't have a kid, Justin. I don't. Sancho is a practice player. It seems from what I've read over the years. Actually, I saw that report. It was in the Athletic saying that in training, if that's what you mean, he's ridiculous. But I mean, people thought Kostic, who came back, is ridiculous in training. But yeah, what does that mean when you're out there and you don't perform, you don't deliver? Then it means absolutely nothing. Who's going to the game? Who's going to the game? Julian, are you going to the game as well? Where do we play against Casablanca? Is that Philly? Is that where Chelsea played today? Are you going? Is that far? Driving to Philly, I have no idea how far that is. Probably. It's probably far, no? Oh, Eddie as well. So that's that. Yeah, it is Philly. It is Philly. Actually, a serious question, completely off topic. 7-hour drive. That's pretty okay. That's almost what I drive when I go to watch Juve in Torino. It's like 10 hours. So about that. Is it really that hot in America, Philly? Because they're taking cooling breaks, and yeah, I cannot believe they're taking cooling breaks. I'm not gonna lie, because even in Europe, it's 30 degrees, and I've never seen them take cooling breaks, so that's kind of weird. Unfortunately, not me. Wait, are they going to the Philly again? If so, I need to go. I'm from New Jersey, I think it is. It's almost. Yeah, you need to switch. Eddie, you need to translate that to Celsius. I don't know what that. I don't know how hot that is. 10-hour drive for Justin. Won't make it. That's sad. Yeah, I'm not from the US, Peter. I thought that was well known. I'm not from the US. I'm from Belgium. So it's very hot here in LA. I'm still freezing some days in Canada. Yeah, it's like over here in Belgium. Like today is 30 degrees. Next week there will be a day where it's 17. So yeah, it's all over the place. Anyways, Philly talk or Juve talk, Casablanca talk. That's for Sunday, or maybe tomorrow, depending. But that's for Sunday. Okay, I'll ask the chat right now. How many? Your English is better than mine, Toale. I doubt it. I really doubt it. But still, thanks. In the chat, if the scenario is me and Julius and I link and we will make it happen if Ali wants. Can me and Jules? What? You need to repeat that, Justin. I don't get it. I live in London and I hate. Yeah, I mean. Anyways, in the chat, people, let me know if the scenario is really quickly. The club is like, we're not buying Conceição for which reason? I don't know. They cannot lower the transfer fee, etc. What is the next step for the club? If they don't buy Conceição, who's next? Because right now there are no other real links, unless I'm actually blanking something out. I've seen we are getting moved on links, so that might actually make it a bit worse. But if we don't buy Conceição, what is next for this club? If anyone has any suggestions, let me know in the comments, because I thought about it today, and that's why I think they're still going to buy. Oh, Lucas access for the 26th. I will make that work. So that will be in August. If anyone reminds me, we will do that. Actually, the last time I did that with Julian, I was close. I was really close, especially with the relegation sides. Up top, a bit less, but relegation sides, I was close. But yeah, no Chiesa, Eddie, no Chiesa, absolutely no Chiesa. But Berardi, nah, you're taking the piss, everybody. But on a serious note, because that's a real thing, because that's the thing people a lot of times use. If it's not Conceição, then who are we going to buy? There's nobody else out there. There's nobody else out there. There is no money, because if we're not willing to pay 30 million euro for Conceição, are we willing to pay 30 million euros for Ndoi? Are we willing to pay 30 million euros for any type of winger? That's my thought process. It's like, is the money really the issue, or is it about the player? Because if 30 million euros is the issue and you don't buy Conceição, then you have a problem, because there's nobody, like I would agree, there's nobody out there who is probably good enough for less money. There's nobody out there. So that creates a much bigger problem. Garnacho, do you think he's good? No, I do not think I don't think he's as bad as he is at Manu, because I think he has some talent, but I don't think he's good enough. It's not my cup of tea, not a player I like. But he will cost, I don't know, how much would he cost? 40, 50, something like that, probably. So that's also not an option. Ndoi, Ndoi will cost a lot of money. They want 35 million euros, Bologna. So that leaves that door is closed as well. So if it's not Conceição, I legit have no other options right now, and I'm talking about less than 30 million. Somebody said Bakayoko. PSV are willing to let him go for quite a cheap fee. Now on Bakayoko, I like him, but he's not ready. He's way, way, way too hot and cold. And lately, he's just cold. He's freezing lately. But I do like the potential, and I've seen a Dutch report, I think a week ago, saying that he could potentially leave for around 20 million. So that might be an issue. But if you are frustrated with Conceição, then you also be very frustrated with Bakayoko. I think he has more talent, Bakayoko, but he still steps behind, Conceição. And I mean, if you have an issue with Conceição, then you're 100% going to have an issue with Bakayoko, especially short term. Long term, I don't know. Like if his talents develop the way they should be developing, fantastic. But right now, he's not really picking up the pace, and he's being left behind a little bit. Thoughts on a potential Dybala return to? That's not true. That's not true, and that's something we shouldn't entertain. Getting old things back, it's done. Chico's young. We'll definitely make it back whenever we want to sell. And he's here and understands you already, and he currently worth more than 30 million. Yeah, that's why I said, Porto know that they will get that money somewhere else. Orsolini, oh wait, we had him and he never gave him a chance. He's doing well, but I still don't think Orsolini is a top player, in my opinion. But he's doing well at Bologna, and that's good for him. Nathan, no more return from, yeah, that was on Dybala. My dream will be Julian Brandt of Borussia Dortmund. Low, still, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. He's good, but I don't know. I don't see him play for us, to be honest. How do you feel about Douglas Luiz's performance last game? I don't know. Unlucky. The sample size was not big. He was just unlucky. He could have scored 2, hit the post just wide. Like his technique is not up for debate. Like he can hit a ball. Like that's. I don't think anyone had an issue with that, or doubted that. Oh, can he hit a ball? Can he strike a ball? Because technically he's well sounded. It's just injuries and then the mistakes. With the pen against Cagliari, the pen against Leipzig, and it just completely fell apart this season. I think that's more of an issue. But the club made a decision. If an offer comes in, he's gone, and I think that offer will come in. I don't think Douglas Luiz is going to be at the club, especially if the club is also targeting Ederson. Somebody needs to move, and they're keeping McKennie. It is what it is. Thanks, I guess, Mark. 30 for Chico is a steal, especially given he's a Portuguese starter in a World Cup here. His stock will only rise. Porto are still going to get a total package of 30, even if it's not us. Why not just accept 22 our previous loan fee? Because they want 40 in total. That's why I keep repeating. Porto want 40 million euros for Conceição. We pay 10, they want 30. Because if we don't activate that option, that what do you want to call it? That clause, if we don't activate it before the 15th of July, it will be 45. They want around 40 for Conceição. So they're not going to lower the demands. Random question, but Rabiot has been linked with a return to Italy. What are your general thoughts on him on and off the pitch? Off the pitch, I don't think he has an issue. I know it was all a drama when he joined his mother, but I never really heard anything from his mother. On the pitch, he's I don't want to say he's a rubbish or he's a disaster, but he's nothing special. He's just nothing special. Just stay far away from him. Now he's all talking that smack. So off the field right now, but when he's at the club, it's quiet. I'm not working out, but thanks anyway. Rugani will be our striker, maybe. Do you think we will sell Weah? We should. And there are rumors out there that we are trying to move him on, and we should, because he offers way too little, and it's just not good enough. If you can fetch a fee for him, you move him on, and you keep it going, because that's just not a player who's going to add anything to the future of this club. Nothing against him, but yeah, Okay, so Porto are going to ask for 30 million from others if you don't sign him. That means they will get a total of 50 with our loan fee if we don't sign him. What the fuck, scammers? Um, no. They might ask. Okay, they might ask 30 for Conceição, but they already got 10 from us. They last summer the reports were they wanted 40 million euros for Conceição, and the clause after the 15th of July is 45. That's what they want. They want them from us or from somebody else. We offered them. We already paid them 10. They will probably accept 30 plus maybe 32 from somebody else, leaving it to 40. But we need to pay 30. Like Alex is right. Porto are just doing what's best for them. We agreed things, Okay, let's do it the other way around. Let's say Sule, for example. Let's say Roma paid us, to keep it simple, Roma paid us 5 million last season for a loan deal, and the option was set at 25. Sule had a good season, especially the second part of the season. Roma comes back now, and it's like, you know what? We want to pay 50 million euros. What would our reaction be? And let's be completely honest. We would all come on or in the chat and say, you pay 25. We agreed on that, and he had a good season. You're going to pay that. That's what Porto are doing. That's what we would do as well. You can give it a shot, but if Porto say no, then it's no. Then you're going to need to pay up or you're going to need to move on. It's as simple as that. Anyways, let's move on to where is it gone? Here we go. Let's move on to this one. Let me change that really quickly. Okay, let's move on to this reports. I don't know how you pronounce his name, so somebody who knows, let me know. Is it Aguet? He's been linked with us. Di Marzio broke the news yesterday evening, 24 hours ago, saying that we are interested in him because West Ham are interested in Rugani, and we are talking about a potential swap deal. The first thing that came to mind was, how are you going to swap these two players? Like that can never be a straight swap. That was already a worry sign. I haven't checked, but I think two things. I think West Ham paid around 32, 35 million euro pounds when they signed him from, I think, Rennes it was. That's one thing. And I also believe he picked up quite some injuries at West Ham. Besides that, I watched West Ham games with him playing. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. He went on loan to Sociedad. I haven't watched Sociedad. Actually, I watched Sociedad against Manu, and I cannot remember him playing. To be honest, no, cannot recall it. But I watched the Manu game, home and away against Sociedad, and I cannot recall him. So the loan deal is completely off the table because Mirko Di Natale said that they value him at 25 million euros, and they want cash at this moment in time. No. Swap deals, loan deals, and whatever exotic deals Comoli will offer West Ham. This is really simple. Is he good enough? Okay. Is he a scrub? No. Is he going to move the needle? Absolutely not. It's just going to add to what we already have. And let's say he comes in and you move on Rugani. Have we improved? No. The only talk out there, he's left-footed. Okay. There are probably thousands of players around the globe who are left-footed. I don't know what that means. He's left-footed, okay, but is he a good defender? Like, good that he can play with his left feet, I guess. We need that. I'm not going to deny that. But is he a good defender? Because you can be... Chiellini is horrible with his feet. Right, left, whatever. But he's a fantastic defender. Because at the end of the day, defending is the first job. Period. If you're not a good defender, you can be Pirlo with your left foot at the back. We're gonna concede goals. You're gonna cost us. He's not an upgrade on he's not an upgrade, I think, on Kalulu. And we're all assuming Kalulu is gonna start alongside Bremer, depending on how we're gonna set up, That's also something, back three with Bremer. But leave that to the side. That's a player who's not gonna improve us one bit. It's just not going to move the needle. We're going to look, like if we sign him, I'm going to look at that center back room or backline room, whatever you want to call it, And my opinion I have today on that, department, it's not going to change. We will spend money to do absolutely nothing. These are players, and I'm actually extremely worried right now because we're not getting linked with defenders. Today I saw a link with Laporte, 31, playing in the Saudi league, and I almost cried. I almost had tears in my eye of joy. And it's Laporte. It's 31-year-old Laporte. But I couldn't believe we were actually linked, even if the source is maybe iffy, we were actually linked with a good center back. I don't care he plays in Saudi, because if the other links are true, then I'll take Laporte out of the Saudi league for 2-3 seasons until we figure our, what out. I almost cried from joy because that's actually a good defender with his feet, defensively, whatever you want to call it. That's a good defender. That will move the needle in our current center back room. Will that move the needle towards European top clubs? Probably not, but we're far away from that. We just need to take it step by step in certain scenarios. And being linked with these players, with all due respect, is not going to move anything. It's not going to take us, it's not going to bring us from top 4 to competing for the title. That might take us from top 4 on the last day to top 4 with 5 games to play, something like that. So strange link. I hope I don't ever need to talk about that. To be honest, I hope that was a Di Marzio thing, and we moved on from it. That's how I'm looking at it. Because this ain't it. These are the players we should definitely not target. 100%. Just keep away from it. People saying I do not know this player. I don't blame you if you don't know him. Again, I watched him at West Ham maybe a couple of times. And that's a bit, that's it, and I never was impressed at all, at all. All the center back names that have been linked to us have been so underwhelming. We need to take a serious step up in quality in that department. Yeah, I agree. I do agree. I'm actually very worried about that center back room against Al Ain. Again, if they were a bit better, and they didn't have one decent player up top, and they had a couple, in midfield, one maybe on the right hand side, we would have conceded. Against Casablanca, the chances of us conceding are very realistic, very realistic. Do you watch any other Juve YouTube channels? Not really. I'm not gonna lie. I just don't have the time for it. Doesn't mean they're not good, but don't like I do this, I talk about Juve, I read about Juve, and that's it. If I need to watch more Juve content, I will lose my mind. I do watch just other clubs' channels. I do watch that. We need improvements, not extra bodies. Yes, depth is needed, but come on, our first job is to improve the first team. I agree, and we have depth. To be honest, at the back, we have a lot of center backs or defenders, but just not a lot of good ones. Maybe 1, 2. I think he's getting signed as a backup left center back. Move on Kelly. Isn't that better to keep Kelly? That might sound as a wild statement. I know, but I mean, it feels like it's just wasting more time. You just improve the starting positions, and then worried about getting Kelly out and maybe replacing Kelly. Move out Kelly and keep Rugani. I don't know. Just get me a starting center back we can trust. That's how I'm looking at it right now, and we have not been linked with one at all, and that's extremely worrying, in my opinion. So let's see. I have no idea what the plan is for the club at the back. Okay, so Di Marzio saying good news for a lot of people. I think that Jadon Sancho gave his priority to Juve, to Napoli. Damn it. To Napoli. Let me see. Yeah, so Jadon Sancho gave his priority to joining Napoli at this moment in time. So I think a lot of you will probably be very excited about that news. I think most of you will be excited, but that leaves you with the question again: what are we trying to do at the back? What is the idea up front? Because if you're in for Sancho, what does that even mean? To be honest. Let me give me 1 second. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't think anyone is really sad about that. Would you take Koulibaly? No Koulibaly. Di Marzo's all over the place recently. I would agree with that, to be honest. Do you follow any clubs from Belgium? Yeah, Kank. With a K, not with the T, with the K, because I live here. I think a big center back will come towards the end of the window. Which one? You know, like with big, I hope you don't mean like literally big, but like good, you know, talented, whatever, you know, ready made. Then that means you're gonna, you know, try to get a starter from a better team who's not gonna let you, you know, sign their players at that moment in time. Aguerd has very good aerial stats. I do agree because I looked them up. On the ball he's good, you know, and in the air he's good, but overall defensively, like I promise you, he's not all that good. Like individually, stat wise, it looks good, but I've seen him play. Obviously, not a full season, but like he's not he's not a very good defender to say he's gonna improve us. That's my issue. He was good for Morocco at the World Club, but so was the entire team. And where are they all playing right now? Like it happens, you know. Forget like James Rodriguez was ridiculous at the Club World Cup. If Conte managed to get Sancho to work harder, he's a magician. We really need two starting center backs to play on either side of Bremer. Yet I don't think anyone will be shocked if we get into the season without even bringing one starting level center. Oh, I agree. You know, right now I made my peace already that we're not playing a starting center back in. I'm talking about starting. You know, because Savona can start, Kalulu can start, Kelly can start, but you know what I mean. But I agree. I don't know who's going to get Carezas. He's going to stay this summer, that's for sure, because that has been confirmed. And other than that, we will see. We will see. He needs to stay as well. Like it's way too soon to leave. I don't understand the Gatti hate. People forget we didn't give up a goal when he and Bremer were together. It's not hate. I don't like. I don't hate. I hate the group of players, the way they acted. I don't hate an individual player, but Gatti is not good enough to be a top team, and that goes for a lot of players. I repeat myself, a lot of players at the back. And my point is, we are renewing Gatti. That's my issue. You have a shot to cash in and improve. That's why I'm like, cash in and improve. If Kalulu's contract extension was up, or somebody else, like pick your, like we're all signed right now, so it's kind of pointless. But if somebody, I would have said the same thing because the entire back line, I do not rate. Same goes for McKennie. He's up for a contract extension. Don't do that. Cash in, improve. I still can't get over the fact that we've sold. Yeah, Hoyson. Yeah. Disasi, don't get me started. Oh yeah, I forgot about that link. Thanks for Disasi. Then keep Kelly. If you're gonna spend money on Disasi, then don't spend money and just keep Kelly. You know, don't waste any more money. Roma put in a bid for Aguerd, I think, is Di Marzo saying. So let me see. They put in a bid for Aguerd, Roma. Let me see what they put in. No fee, so that's kind of pointless. No fee mentioned. Do you think Mike Panthers can reach Courtois level? Absolutely not. No shot. I want to see Douglas Luiz and Thuram start in the middle next game. According to reports, Locatelli is not 100% fit, so that could but it's going to be McKennie. McKennie is going to start with Thuram in midfield. I don't see. I will be stunned if he starts Douglas Luiz. I will actually be stunned. He might get more minutes, especially because I don't think against Al Ain we had any real difficulties in midfield. There's no battle. We got the midfield from the get go, just purely based on the difference in quality. Apologies, but I've watched Casablanca against Manzeri. They have more quality than Al Ain. They have more quality. So yeah. I hope we can get Lukumi. I think he would be good for us. He has a release clause of 28 million euros. Apparently, I didn't know that. 28 million euros. Yeah, if you sack Mota and you sign Lukumi the 6 months after, that's actually jokes. That's that would be something this club actually would, do, in my opinion. Napoli are still pushing for Chiesa. They're in for everyone. They're in for Sancho, Chiesa, and Ndoi. Okay. Strange. Not sure what Napoli are doing. They're linked with a lot of players, but maybe it's good, because they have options. We do not have options. Di Marzio is now all of a sudden Aguero is a hot commodity within a few hours. Yeah, this Casablanca game will be a dogfight. I can see us drawing this game. We cannot draw that game against Casablanca because at the end of the day, they are better than Al Ain, but they shouldn't be better than us. Like you should be beating Casablanca with all due respect. Douglas Luiz was the only good stop like game. I hope he starts instead of McKennie. What happened to the Hansko rumors? They died with the sacking of Thiago Motta. So and good as well because yeah, he's an okay player, but again, not a defender that excites me one bit. Nothing special, it's just yeah, like he's a good. I don't know, like it's not something like that's a player you probably replace in 3 years if that makes any sense. Napoli are doing business. They're doing some weird business, but they're making moves. They're going to spend a lot of money on multiple players. They're going to improve their squad, which needed to be improved because they won the title. But yeah, I can still not believe they won the title. I'm not going to lie. Let me see. Sorry, I was trying to read some news. Not a fan of Sancho. Maybe he will be a good sub. Maybe we should focus on a striker or a defender. Yeah, I think that should be the focus as well at this moment in time. We should go for Leone and Laporte and sell Kelly. I would sign off for that for sure. There's got to be a decent left center back out there. Come on, you open the effing Football Manager. Probably in France. Yeah, his wish list is just the Ligue 1. And I made a joke about it, but he's targeting the wrong Ligue 1 players, ex-Ligue 1 players, were just not good enough in general. But yeah, a weird one. Not gonna lie, it is weird, very strange in my opinion. I was hoping or was waiting to see if there was some more news from Di Marzio, but I think that's about it for us for today for Juve. Not expecting anything really, as long as we're at the Club World Cup. Just many links, and that's about it probably. Anyways, people, I'm gonna wrap this one up because I spoke about Sancho, spoke about the center back situation, which is actually a situation. Your top center back transfer pick for Juve. Realistic? If I need to be realistic, because I saw Araujo links as well today, which is all kinds of sad. first I need to know from Tudor, because is he going to play with a back three? We need to know for certain. We need to know for certain if he's going to play with a back three, because that's so important. I still have a feeling he's going to switch it to a back four at one point, throughout preseason, and start the season with a back four. So it depends. But if I need to be realistic, Konate expiring in 26, yeah, he's going. He's going Real Madrid most likely. Signing Gay for Liverpool, signing Gay for 50. Maybe we can go in for no chance you're getting Konate. Like, he's going with Liverpool on free, or he's going to sign with Liverpool on Real Madrid free, or he's going to extend his contract with Liverpool, in my opinion. Thoughts on Balerdi? I've not watched enough of him. Tudor had him. A lot of people are raving about him, but I've not watched, so I cannot really. His numbers look good, but I mean, numbers can look good, but overall, a player cannot be good enough, if that makes sense. My prediction for the Casablanca game: 2 scores, either 1-0 win or 1-1. We will see. We will see. Anyways, people, I'm gonna wrap this one up. Thanks everybody for watching. If you haven't liked the video, do it. I've not checked the likes, 51. So give it a last push if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. If there's no breaking news tomorrow, I won't be live. Just a daily news video. And then on Sunday, reaction. Monday, call-in show. So if you have something to say about transfers, the Casablanca game, anything, Monday I will do a call-in show. Try to do it once a week. So schedule for Monday. So we have things to talk about: the Casablanca game and maybe transfer news. Theo Hernandez news, nothing, really, other than that, Vlahovic swap deal link. There's nothing out there on Theo Hernandez. Anyways, that's it, people. Thanks for watching. Have a good evening and stay safe. Ciao.